What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Virzi Effect podcast show. My name is Paul Virzi, and you guys are listening to episode 530. Now, this one is pretty, in my opinion, the things that I'm going to talk about on this episode are very unique, have never happened to me before. I don't know if anybody's experienced anything like this, and I would love to know if anybody has. Okay, have I piqued your interest? Are you intrigued? I hope you are. I want to thank everybody who has now subscribed to the Virzi Effect and know that it's now on video and stuff like that. Still, many of the majority of the listeners are just on audio, but we are obviously here. Video, you can see my pretty face and my chains every week, and you can get the Virzi Effect on iTunes, Spotify, everywhere you get your podcasts. And you can also subscribe to the YouTube channel, which has the full episodes. Flying solo again, been running around like crazy. A lot of stuff to talk about and a lot of interesting things, like I said. So I'll get right into this episode, and let's see here. I'll get into this episode and just kind of, I don't even know what to say. I feel very blessed and fortunate to be here too. I was in Arizona, and before I get into anything that happened, I do want to say thank you to the amount of people who came out to see me in Arizona. I was only there for 2 shows Saturday and 1 show Sunday, and I had about 6 days notice that I was going out there. They added me very late. I had a ton of people there. Every show, there were a ton of fans, podcast listeners. It was so fucking cool to see all the people taking pictures again because COVID is going away. The mask thing is down. So thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. If you were in Arizona, all of the people that commented on the show had such a great time, did so much time on stage, and it was amazing. So thank you, CB Live, the staff, everybody. And of course, the fans. The fans were so great that if there was a heckler, if somebody just yelled something, the fans were like, shut the fuck up, I'll fuck you up. Like, the fans had my back. It was insane. It was really insane. So thank you again from the bottom of my heart. Now, a couple of wild things happened. So I'm going to talk about what happened, and I'm going to talk about the getting back home. All right. So sit back, relax, wherever you may be. I don't even have an unacceptable, and I don't know how long this is going to go. I'm just going to tell you guys a couple of stories here. And I hope you enjoy it. For the people that commented on YouTube, or the positive comments, great. The negative ones, eat a dick. Nobody cares. Nobody's listening to your stupid fucking, comments. All right. Now, guys, I'm in Arizona. I had a great weekend. I did get fucked up because of the time change, the 3-hour difference, and also daylight savings. So in my mind, when I got off stage Saturday after the second show, and I did like 1 hour and 16 and 1 hour and 20, to me, I looked at the clock and it was only like 12 something, but in my body and mind, it felt like 3 o'clock in the morning, because that's what it was to me. So go out, have a couple of drinks, smoke a cigar, lay low though, didn't go crazy, went back to the hotel. Only 1 show on Sunday, figuring, what am I going to do on Sunday? Right. And I was like, you know what, man, there's not much going on. The person I smoked a cigar with isn't hanging. This one's not hanging. Let me, I'll probably just go get a cigar by myself, have a drink, and go back. I end up going out with the security guard of CB Live, the guy who goes up to the hecklers and is like, hey, shut the fuck up. Shout out to my boy Adrian, who is the coolest, man. I had such a good conversation with him. We're smoking a cigar. We're having a great time. We're talking life and what's going on in the world and all kinds of shit. It's just one of those good conversations. And when you meet a person and they're kind of on the same place you are, as far as like being a free fucking thinker and all that stuff, like that's what this dude was. So If you're ever at CB Live and you see Adrian, the security guard, give him a pound and tell him Paul Virzi said he's the shit. I told him as well. So we're having a couple of, Bud Light, black cherry Bud Light seltzers, like gentlemen do. I'm smoking a cigar and we're just enjoying this talk. And then all of a sudden, okay, I look to the right. I see a guy coming down the stairs, and the guy coming down the stairs is dressed in a full-fledged, like Charlie Chaplin, like 1920s thing. And he's got a cane and he's walking, but he's young. He's young and like almost tan. And he's coming down with a cane, and he's got the fucking suit, the pants, the vest. He's even has the jewelry thing, like the thing that looks like it's a time, like a clock attached. He's got that, those wallet chains. Well, he's got that shit on the vest. I mean, this guy looks official. He's got a hat. He's got a hat on from the 1920s, and he's walking with a cane. So as we're talking, I look over at Adrian, the dude I'm talking to, and I go, yo, look at this fucking guy, right? And this guy comes in, and he's just, and we go, hey, man. I go, hey, that's some outfit. Oh, well, blah, blah. I like to go to all the bars I can and check out all the cigar bars and smoke a cigar and get a scotch or a whiskey. So I'm looking at him. It was just very bizarre. It was very weird. Okay. Then we see him go and he gets a drink, and he orders a drink. And I could tell the bartender's weirded out. The bartender doesn't know what to think of this guy. He spoke like he was from the 20s too. Okay. I'm like nervous talking about this. Okay. So anyway, he walks up, he gets a drink, and he's just like a whiskey, and he does this, and he drinks the whiskey, and he just kind of does it. Okay, thank you. And he walks out, doesn't sit, doesn't do anything. Tried to light a cigar, and the bartender said, sorry, we're closing. So he drinks his whiskey or thing, and he spins it around, and he does it, and he goes, just walks, and he goes by, and I go, hey man. So we stop him on the way out. I go, that's some outfit. And he goes, well, it's the 20s, we got to do this. And I'm like, all right. And we're just looking at him. We're trying to get a feel. And we were just asking him, like, what's he doing? Like, and where is he going and all this stuff. And then he was like, well, you gentlemen have a nice day now. And I'm like, all right, dude, it was like some Twilight Zone shit. And he walks, and I watch him walk up the stairs, and the way he walked up the 3 stairs with the cane was perfect. Like, it was not normal in like today. He walked with a cane the way like Charlie Chaplin would walk with a cane. Perfect. Then after he gets up the stairs, I just watch him walk in the distance through the parking lot, and he's swinging the cane around. But when I looked, he looked like a pro. So then I tell the dude I was with, Adrian, I go, dude, look at this. And he's just swinging it. And then he just disappears into the parking lot, disappears. We don't see him again. So we're just talking about it. And I was like, man, that was weird. So I say to the bartender, I said, hey man, was that guy, you talked to that guy? And he goes, not really, man. He goes, that was really weird. All right. So everybody's got this like thing now. Everyone's like, what the fuck was that? Right. It was just a bizarre, see if this light thing works here. It was just a bizarre time. So then we go to another bar, and you could take the cigar that you had at the cigar lounge because they closed, and you could go sit outside and smoke it. So we're sitting there, we're outside, we get back to talking, have another drink, about to wind down for the night. And who do we see coming down the street? Is we see this guy by himself with the cane. Okay, with the cane, and he's walking, and we see him talking to somebody. And then he starts walking by, and we say, he stops where we are. We're like at the corner of this outside patio. And he goes, hey man, what's going on? You still out here or something? And he goes, yeah. And then he kind of recognizes us. He goes, oh, you were the gentleman from the cigar club, this and that. So we just start talking, and we start questioning now, because I'm trying to figure something out. And he's like, oh, the best cigar lounge is this and that. And I go, dude, the outfit is unbelievable and this and that. And he starts saying that he's a filmmaker, and he's an independent filmmaker. And I was like, dude, and the cane, man, what's up with the cane? Like, we're just trying, but like in conversation, nice. We're talking about Western movies and stuff. And He goes, yes, well, I landed on my gun during a scene and it hurt my hip. He goes, I'm only 27. Oh, he told us he was 27 and then said he's with the cane because his hip hurts. And he goes, and I know I told you I'm 27, but it's because I landed on my gun. But it was just kind of weird because he like had an answer, an excuse for everything that he previously had answered, if that makes sense. Okay. So then we start talking about cigars and he pulls out this cigar case and he hands it to Adrian. And Adrian goes, oh, this is cool. And he goes, yes, that's 1917. That's perfectly, that is a 1917 cigar case. And he's looking at it and stuff like that. And we're just looking at him very like, it was very peculiar, man. And we had spoke earlier of like, imagine this dude was a time traveler. You know, I believe in time travel and some of the things. And I'm like, and because they prove that it's possible, but we don't have the things to do it, whatever. But again, we're drinking, we're having a good time. It's a complete hypothetical, probably bullshit. He's probably not a time traveler, whatever. Maybe he's just a unique guy. So we start talking about Western movies as he's sitting there talking to us. And he says, oh, did you know that scene in this movie? And my favorite one is this movie. And he starts talking about all these movies and how he's an independent filmmaker and whatever. And I don't know if he's in costume or whatever, but all this stuff. And we're talking, and then we kind of go, okay, I could tell as we were talking, me and Adrian were thinking to ourselves, okay, this guy is either like a method actor or this guy is wearing a costume from a movie set or whatever. But the way he was talking didn't seem normal. The way he would answer something and then go back to kind of make a reason why I know I'm 27, but I landed on a gun. And it just didn't, it was very strange and peculiar. But he did curse at one point. But the way he cursed, I thought was unique. Where he goes, yeah, well, you know, this fucking, and he said it, and it was almost seemed like forced because it was not how he was talking before. And he was talking about his father and his father's favorite Western movie and all this and that. But as we're talking to him, I can see we're like, all right, man, maybe we're bugging out, maybe whatever, you know. So we say goodbye or whatever. Well, he goes, oh, I'd actually join you, gentlemen, but I'm out of money. And then at that point I said, well, we're getting out of here. We're getting out of here. We're not going to sit here, you know? So he shakes my hand. He says his name and he shakes Adrian's hand. And then he starts walking. Now, this is where I freaked out. And I really, really had an unbelievable moment of holy shit, as did Adrian. I'm not making this up. This 100% happened, and there was absolutely no exaggeration, and there's no explanation for this. This actually happened, okay? Take it for what you want. We were not drunk. We were not on drugs, okay? We had a couple of drinks, smoking a cigar, shooting the shit, talking comedy, talking life. Now, we are at the edge of a patio in the corner, and then you just walk down the street, and I would say maybe like 150 to 175 yards away, a little over a NFL football field, there's a stop sign. Okay. So he says goodbye, blah, 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 shakes our hand. Granted, he had the beard too. He had the beard of 20s. He was really looked like 20s, but the way he spoke was like it too. Okay. And mind you, he had a 1917 cigar case and all this stuff, but he leaves, and as soon as he walks away, I just look and I go, well, you know, maybe he's just a unique guy, whatever. And Adrian says, yeah, man, never in my life have I seen anything like that. I swear to God. Now, how much time do you think that takes what I just said? Okay. Think about this now. How much time? He walks away. I go, wow. Guy gets a couple feet, maybe a second. 2 seconds tops. And I look at him and I go, wow, you know, maybe it's just an eccentric. Like, I don't know what that was, but whatever. And then Adrian goes, yeah, man, never in my life. And then Adrian looks up. I'm getting the chills right now. Adrian looks up and goes, oh my God, dude, look how far he is. Look how far he is. Guys, I have the chills as I'm telling you this. Okay. I can't explain this with some David Blaine, Chris Angel shit. In a matter of 3 seconds, let's say, I'll even say 4, this man was close to the stop sign. I've never in my life seen an individual make up that ground. So Adrian looks and he goes, yo, dude, look how far away this kid is. Look how far away, dude. And I look, and as soon as I look, I'm getting the chills. I look at Adrian and I just go, I had nothing. And he goes, and we both look. So we were like, I can't believe it, dude. And then we saw in the distance, he just crossed the street and then gone. Now, I was completely thinking this guy is an actor. This guy does independent movies. I don't know. He's dressed to the nines and 20s shit. And he's going into these different bars, all this different stuff. Fine. He did know some movies, but he knew stuff from a 27-year-old. He knew shit at 27 about movies, Westerns, that I just, unless he's watching them constantly with his father, which could be the case. Okay. And I was willing to say there's nothing wrong. And I still don't know what I saw. I still don't know what happened or who this guy was. Do I think it was a time traveler? Like, I guess the percentage of that would be so small. So I'm not sitting here trying to tell you I saw a time traveler. I can't obviously say that because I just don't know. But I can tell you this. In the time that I made a quick comment and then Adrian said, never in my life, this man who was walking with a cane, okay, dressed in a full 20s thing, the hat, the whole fucking thing, was 75 to 80 yards away in 4 or 5 seconds. It just, an NFL player does not run. The fastest NFL time was what, like a 4.2 something. So that's 40 yards in 4.5 seconds. This man was not running. He was walking and he was fucking gone down there. I couldn't explain it. We're looking at each other like we just saw a fucking magic trick. It was like a magic trick in real time. Our jaws dropped. I've never seen anything like it before in my life. So then what we did was when we left, we said, let's time it, because we saw a couple of parking spots and we're like, all right, when we get to that, Cadillac or that color car, black car, white car, gray car, all that. When we get there, let's time it. And we walked and we gave it 10 seconds. 15. We counted to 15. We walked and counted 15 seconds and weren't where he was. And we were walking at a normal pace. So this is what I can tell you. And this is what I could tell the Virzi Effect listeners. And this is just real. And this is not for the show. I literally was like, holy shit. I want to almost bring Adrian on this podcast. And see what he would say. I just met him that night. So I don't even know if I can get him. And I'm going to try to bring, this is a security guy. This is not he's probably not going to answer. But this was insane, dude. This was, come on, man. Oh, man, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it. Oh, let me go to my contacts. Maybe he's in my contacts and I'll see. He's probably at work. Dude, I swear to God, this shit was no joke. And no, is it in the contacts, dude? Let me see. I should have been prepared for this. But I know you guys know me and it's what it is. So let me see. Adrian, CB Live. I'm going to pause this for 1 second. You know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say, are you in front of a computer by any chance? In front of a computer by any chance? Doing pod. Okay. So the things that I take from this man, the things that I take from this man who was dressed to the nines like he was in the 20s, was a few things. Number one, he walked into a bar to just have one drink and maybe like light a cigar, but then he walked out. He never sat down at the bar. He never got comfortable. That was one thing. Two, the way he walked with the cane up the stairs and then swinging it around was somebody who's been either practicing it, been in movies with it or whatever, or it was just ridiculous. The speed in which he would fucking maneuver and walk around was very weird. Then seeing him again, him saying, "Oh, you got a cane." And then he goes, "Yeah," but he remembered saying, "I was 20." I said, "How old are you?" He said, 27. He goes, "Oh, I fell on my gun in a scene." It's just a little weird. Then he cursed one time. He said the F word one time talking to us, and it almost as if he was doing it to either fit in or it just didn't fit. And then he knew all of these Westerns, had a 1917 cigar thing, like I said. But I was willing to put all that aside and go, we're bugging, dude. We're bugging. This guy is it was the distance, man. It was the distance. It was somebody going, dude, look how far he was. The other dude said, I don't remember shaking his hand, and it happened in a second. I remember his hand. I even remember now because I remember like purposely feeling it. I remember how his hand felt, like a little rougher skin or whatever. But he said, I don't remember touching his hand. We walked over to a table and I said, did you guys, then I was like, yo, was that a ghost? And then I said to another table, did you guys see us talking to that guy dressed in the 20s? And they go, no, I don't know what you're talking about. But they were a couple tables over and in deep conversation. But Adrian saw him and the bartender saw him. So thank God, because then I would have been really fucked up. But the thing that got me, man, was how far he was. I will never forget that. It was as if I don't think a slow jog wouldn't have gotten him there. That's the weird thing, dude. That's the weird thing. So I had to share that on the show, and I had to tell you guys that really happened. Like there's no exaggeration here. There is no bullshit for the show. That's what happened. People don't talk like that. The way he spoke. And I'm just going, so I started searching shit. Just got my phone right now, he said. Hold on, I don't know what that means. Oh, okay. I'm saying, do you have Zoom on it? I want him to tell the story without me saying a word. And me and him never talked about this. You know, I just said, hey man, if I do a podcast, whichever podcast to talk about this on, I'm gonna, you got to get on this and talk about it. And but he's out there in Arizona, so it's different time. He's working and shit, so whatever. But it was the distance, man. And the bartender was really weirded out because it wasn't somebody. And here's the other thing. I didn't really take him for a crazy person. Because, and also a crazy person wouldn't be that dressed the guy was dressed perfectly to the nines of the 20s with the cane and walking perfectly with it. So I told my wife's like, maybe a method actor. He could have been like a method actor, but he said he's a filmmaker for independent films. So maybe he's just so caught up in that. Maybe he's so caught up in doing that shit. That's why he knew the Westerns. And that's why maybe he cursed just to kind of seem a little more normal. And maybe he's just this normal 27-year-old guy who's a little weird, who's just so involved. And because he said like he's like a historian, or like he's into the times, like those people that maybe work in at a place like where, remember when Borat went to a place and the guy was like, you're in the 1800s. He's like, but I heard USA has, what did he say? Has the best technology. I don't know if he worked at a place like that. And I was willing to do that. It's just a distance, guys. I don't know how. I don't know. So I'm Googling like time travelers walk faster. I couldn't find anything. So what I'm asking for the Virzi Effect listeners. Okay, he said I do. Hold on a second. I don't know if I can do this. If I could send an invite. If I could send an invite to him. Can I email it? Hold on. I'm going to put this. Anyway, let me just finish this. If anybody has had an experience like that, or seen anything like that or heard anything like that, please write into the show. Right into the show. We'll try to get in contact with you. I'll try to read it out here. Again, I could be bugging. I just don't, when something can't be explained, it can't be explained how far away the guy was. I mean, it's just the guy was that far away. I don't know. I don't even know. I'm freaking out saying it. The guy was that far away, and it's like, and we timed it. So explain that to me. That's where I'm at, man. It was fucking unbelievable. It was unbelievable. Hold on. I'm going to put this on pause for 1 second and then start again. Okay. Just so you guys know, that entire pause took about, I don't know, 15 seconds. Well, depending on how fast. I'm just kidding. I just sent an email to Adrian, who is a security guy who I had drinks with, and we will see if he comes in to talk about this. But dude, it was wild, man. And it just made me think, like, it made me think of those like YouTube pictures of like time travelers with certain things. But the cane and the talking, this guy would have had to study. This guy would have had to study the 20s and that era. And maybe he was, but mind you, he said he's 27 and he knew all those things. And I mean, how many 27-year-olds are walking with a 1917 cigar, cigar perfect case, from 1917, an exact, I mean, maybe you could get an exact replica, but like that would be weird for a 27-year-old to have. But the walking, man. So if I get him on here, I will talk to you guys about it. I don't know. My thing with time travel is I think they said it is possible, but the shit you need to do it, we don't have. Or do we? And here's the other thing, and this is really crazy, but if time travel is possible, but we don't have the things to do it in another time, did they have the things to do it? Because if time travel is possible, you could have time traveled to the time when you do have some shit like that. I don't know. I don't know. It's one of those deals, man. But I had to share that on the podcast because that was fucking wild. All right. Now, there's something else that I want to talk about on the podcast because another very unique thing happened. And like I said, I'm very happy, lucky, and grateful to be sitting here. And this is kind of a wild thing because I was flying back. So the next day I had a flight, and I had an early flight. I had to leave my hotel at 6 o'clock in the morning. Okay. And let me just, you know what? I'm going to put this on pause one more time to see. Hold on. You won't feel a thing. Okay. I just realized that I sent Adrian from the comedy club who was with me the wrong email. Here he is now. Before I get into my flight, here he is now. And I'm going to bring this. This is all real time. I did not have this planned because you guys know I'm not that organized. Here we go. This is Adrian. I'll introduce him. Here we go. This is wild. Oh, this is wild. All right. I'm excited. Yo.
What's up, bro?
Oh, what's up, man? All right, cool. You're on the Virzi Effect right now. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Doing the Virzi Effect podcast. This is Adrian. So, Adrian is now a friend, and Adrian is somebody he, like I said, he did, make sure this shit is green. He was security at CB Live. He took care of anybody talking shit. You could hear me good, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All right. So, and I told them, I basically told them from when we were sitting down and I saw that dude come down the stairs. And I'm also telling them, and you could attest to this, this is 100% not planned, correct?
Correct.
I did say to him when we sat down, one of the podcasts I do, if I can get you on it, I may have to get you on this. So
right.
in your, however you want to describe what happened, tell the Virzi Effect listeners what you felt. I told them what I felt, and I told them the one thing that really fucking made it really weird. But tell them after the show on Sunday, and I was smoking a cigar and you were having a drink. What transpired from and this is Adrian, everybody. Adrian Ruiz from CB Live Security, great dude, super smart. Go ahead, tell him what your encounter was.
So we were at this bar. I forget the name of it, but we were just literally enjoying a drink, having a cigar.
Torch.
Torch. There we go. High Street. Shout out. Great place. So it started off with two former NFL players walking in. We're like, oh, this is kind of cool, right? And then we're having this deep discussion about life and crazy shit. Then Paul's eyes kind of light up, and I'm like, what's up? And he tells me, turn around, bro. So we turn around, and we see this guy, all 1920s get up, the hat, the cane, the mustache, the sideburns. He was like sunburnt also, which was very bizarre. And he kind of had that old timey like accent to him, because we said hi, exchanged a few words, and then he went about his way to the bar. That's obviously the first weird thing, right? Mm-hmm. Second weird thing is that he did not take a seat at the bar. He decided to get some top shelf whiskey, swirls it around, sips it, puts it down, pays his tab, doesn't tip, and walks out. And then we asked the bartender, like, hey, does this happen often? And he's like, no, that was really weird. We made jokes about him being a time traveler. We made jokes about this, and that, right? Paul decides, you know what? Let's have another drink across the street at Blue Martini. We decide to go there, and we're having a blast. We see him again. Paul's like, there he is. And I'm like, oh shit. And he kind of, almost at the same time that we saw him, he kind of disappeared into the frame. Yeah. And then we saw him again coming towards us, which is really weird.
Yep. I didn't even mention that. He was talking to a table, and we looked and couldn't find him, and then he came back. Yeah.
And he walks past us, so we decided to stop him and have a little chat with him.
Yep.
So according to this man, this mystery time traveler man, his name is Jacob, did not give us a last name. He's an actor, a stuntman, and a historian.
Yes.
Very bizarre accent. And he had this leather pouch that he held his cigars in. Yep. That had a fucking stamp on it that said 1917. And he said, this is real. Like, this is actually from 1917. And which was strange to me, because I held it, and it was real leather, and it said 1917 on it. There's no, like, it's a really good fucking condition right now. So it's really fucking bizarre. So what ends up happening, we part ways. So he talks, we talk, and then he shakes your hand. I shake his hand. I say, my name is Adrian. You say, my name's Paul. And he goes, hey, Adrian, that nice name. You gentlemen have a good night. Shakes my hand, and he walks past this pillar that's behind us. I turn to Paul. I tell Paul, hey, man, I'd never in my life have met a guy like that. And you say, never in my life. That takes what, 3 to 5 seconds to say?
Yeah.
I turn to the left. I look over. This motherfucker is, no fucking joke, 20, 30 yards further than the average person should have been in that fucking time. And he wasn't running. He wasn't speed walking. He had like a limp, because he said he had fallen on his pistol and fucked up his hip. He had a cane. He had just been walking at a slow pace, and in 3 to 5 seconds, just fucking, I don't know. So clear 30 fucking yards.
You named everything. The one thing that I forgot to say was, you named everything. I forgot. You just said something, one part that I didn't even remember. I think was a time where he was out of frame.
Right.
You nailed everything. It's kind of everything that oh shit. Hold on. You're not on mute. You're good. You could hear me, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I said was, I would say from where we were sitting to the stop sign, would you say like a little more than a football field? Like from like a football field?
Right. Just about, like, really fucking far.
So, right. And we looked up and I said, dude, maybe we were, but whatever I said, or I said that was weird. And then Adrian says, never in my life. And then looks down and goes, dude, look how far he is. And I look, and if being 20 yards was far, this man was 20 to 30 past that.
Right.
And then me and you timed it. We walked and timed it. And he was also speaking in a way and knew things, Western movies, that a 27-year-old would have to really. Now, listen, granted, maybe he watched and did know all that, but the way the last thing he said, I would join you. The last thing Adrian nailed everything. He said, I would join you guys, but I'm out of money. And then in which case we were leaving. So I said, we're leaving. And then he did that. But so basically, and this is how I took it. I took it as maybe it's unique, it's weird, but after talking to him, he also said the F word once, which I didn't know if he was trying to like bond with us. Do you remember that? He like one time he cursed, which didn't feel right.
It wasn't natural to him.
It wasn't natural to him. And then I also said he backtracked on his age because he goes, I'm 27. And then he goes, I go, you got a cane or whatever, the cane thing. I go, I love the cane. He goes, yeah, well, my hip. And then he goes, even though I'm 27, I fell on the gun. But for me and you, I think we were both like, okay, maybe not some time traveler shit, or we don't know what's going on. Maybe just a unique dude. But then when you said to me, look how far he got, didn't I my jaw dropped and I stared at you.
Your blood ran cold, bro.
Dude, I stared at you and I'm going, bro. And I just kept looking. And I said it was like a David Blaine magic trick where you couldn't explain how far he was.
Right. Because shortly after he cleared that distance, there was a couple, I think might have been arguing. They were speed walking down that same way. And I timed them as well. And it took them 30, 40 seconds to get that distance. You know what I mean? We turned for a split fucking second. There's no explanation to it. And then it had us really think about, did we just fucking witness a real life time traveler? Because I mean, if it was just you, your friends would be like, you're fucking crazy, bro. You must have been drunk. But we both saw it at the same time, and neither of us were really intoxicated.
No, that's what I said. See, Adrian is saying, I literally wanted you to talk, and because I knew you would reiterate the same thing, because neither of us were drunk,
Right.
2-3 drinks, and we were drinking seltzers over the course of 2-3 hours. So we're fine. I wasn't doing any drugs. And then we timed the walk. We even gave it 10-15 seconds. I said we gave it 10-15 seconds, but I said an NFL player, bro, runs a 40-yard dash, the fastest one. Deion Sanders was like 4.2 seconds. This dude, and he's walking with a cane. He's not
Deion Sanders.
He's not Deion Sanders at all. And then when he crossed the street, he just was gone.
Right, like once he went further than the eye could see, like there was nothing. And also a quick note: when he left the cigar bar, he walked. He said he was driving around trying to go to every a cigar bar, but he walked towards an area that had no vehicles.
Yeah,
and just kind of disappeared into the distance, and then somehow circled around the entire fucking plaza, which is fairly large. High Street is not a tiny little place.
Yeah,
and found his way circling around and met us again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was something that I'll never forget. It was a moment that I'm glad somebody was there. I'm glad. And Adrian and I were talking, like I said before, we were talking life and we were talking what's going on socially. And Adrian is a free thinker, and he's just, so I was sitting there talking to somebody like-minded, like me, and very matter of fact, very down to earth. I felt like we were really on the same page. And then we experienced this together. And I'm glad I experienced this with somebody like that, because, and I also said something too, Adrian. And what do you think about this? Because I was telling the listeners, I don't think he was mentally ill, because mentally ill people, or maybe he could have been eccentric and had something going on. But as far as him, like, he was so dressed perfectly, and
he was sharp too.
It was he was sharp. He was dressed perfectly. He spoke the right way, the way he was. Right. So I don't think this was like some homeless guy trying to. I think that this
definitely not.
No. It was guy had his shit together.
I've had my fair share of encounters with people who are not all up here, so it's kind of fucking bizarre that he was like speaking well, he was like articulating well, and he had that old timey accent.
Yes, the way he spoke to us and the way he said, well, you fellas, it seemed as though, but you said something that I didn't say. I did say to the listeners that it was a 1917 case, but I didn't realize it was in good shape, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so, and look, I said, we don't know what we saw. We don't know.
Right.
The one thing that I can say that of this thing is the distance he was something that was really inexplicable. Because listen, you can explain a guy going into a cigar lounge like that, maybe trying to get attention. You could explain a guy talking like that and walking with the cane and trying to be cool and maybe saying the F word to fit in because normally he doesn't find. But what cannot be explained was how far that man got.
Because all of that could have been easily just coincidence. Oh, he's just a weird motherfucker, right? But at the end of the day, give me 1 second. Sorry.
Yeah, it's all good.
At the end of the day, like the truth of the matter is that distance traveled was not natural.
No.
And nobody else saw it. If I had witnessed it by myself, honestly, I would have mentioned it to a friend or two. But I wouldn't have told them how freaked out I was about it because they're not going to believe me anyway.
Right. No, dude, if I was alone, I would have really freaked out because we asked that table of people if they saw us talking to anybody and they said no. And that freaked me out. I spoke, my wife was like, maybe it was a ghost, but the reason why I don't think it was a ghost is because the way I touched him and I think other people's, especially the bartender seeing him too. But if I had to say what it was, I was, as far as ghost or time traveler, I would say time traveler myself.
100%.
I started Googling shit.
Yeah, we started Googling shit right there on the spot. I was trying to find like the legend of Jacob in Arizona.
Did you? Because I was looking too. Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to find anything on like any similar instance. I'll tell you what, I'm going to look for that guy. I'm going to be on High Street. I'm going to hopefully encounter him again. And if I do, I'm going to tell him we got to get him on your podcast.
Dude, if you find that guy, you call me, we'll set something up. We'll send him cigars as a gift or whatever.
Oh, absolutely.
To whatever time he wants.
Because I want people to realize he's real. And I want the world to know this guy.
No, and yeah, I'll be like, Jacob, I'll send the cigars to 1917. You just come on the podcast. But yeah, man, like that was something where I was actually ready to let it go as a weird dude until the distance.
Same.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, me and you almost conceded to the fact that when we spoke to him there and shook his hand or whatever, you also said something too that I told the listeners. Did you not say that like after you shook his hand, you don't remember shaking his hand, right?
Right. I couldn't remember like what it felt like. It was just like one of those like I was dismissing him and all my previous thoughts. You know what I mean? So I don't think I like collected that data in my head. And then up until he just decided to weird me out again with that distance travel, that's when I was like, well, fuck, man, I thought it was normal for a second.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I'm so glad I caught you. This was literally, I did this with Brett Ernst not long ago, where Brett Ernst, I just hit up Brett and I go, hey, I'm on the Virzi Effect. You want to jump on? And people loved it. So maybe I'll make this my thing where I have special guests pop on the spot if I can't. But no, I really appreciate you coming on, man. I had such a great time at CB Live. It was amazing. And
absolutely, man.
Next time I'm out there, we're definitely going to get up and we're going to do that run. We'll go to Torch and we'll go to the Blue Martini and all that stuff. But
we'll run it again.
Yeah, guys, man, when you go to CB Live and you see this man in there, this man is the one taking care of us. This man is the one making sure nobody's doing that bullshit. And make sure you go up to him. Make sure you shake his hand. He's the best. And I'll be seeing you soon, brother.
Absolutely, man. Can't wait.
All right, Adrian. Thanks for jumping on the show. Adrian Ruiz, everybody. There you go. All right, man. Later. I swear to God, man, he said everything. He said everything that was 100% real. What just happened. So I'm glad you guys got to hear it from another person and not just me. So you don't think that I'm crazy. I mean, this Virzi effect better do fucking numbers, both audio and video. Okay. I'll get into the last thing and then we got to go. I really don't have an unacceptable. I don't even know what to do, but I will tell you this. I was on the airplane. I got picked up at 6 o'clock in the morning to come home. And I'm on the airplane. I got a window seat. There's a woman there sitting next to me. And then a guy gets in the middle. And I was like, oh, shit, this like Russian dude. And he was kind of like, you know, he wasn't as much bumping into me as the other guy, but it was just a packed plane. And we start taxiing. And the engines start revving. This is very rare. This has never really happened. This happens very few times ever in flying, but we were doing all this and that, and we're ready to turn onto the runway. And you know, when you're on a plane and you're doing all the taxiing, you're not going to take off until the captain says, flight attendants prepare for takeoff. That means that they're pretty much in position and they're in line. Now they're in line to turn on the runway and go. So the flight attendants, so anytime you're on an airplane, when you hear the captain say, flight attendants prepare for takeoff, that means that they're engaged, they're ready. The plane is engaging to take off. So they sit down and strap in, and now everybody's waiting to go. This man starts going, the pilot, and he starts to turn. And as he starts to turn, I know that we're turning on the runway that we're about to take off, which means we're probably 30 seconds away from being airborne. And I do this all the time. I've been on planes. That was my 9th flight in 3 weeks. I'm going to be on 50 flights. I'm on a ton of flights every year. And this is all standard. And as he's turning, he starts to pick up speed to turn, and bang, the airplane hits something as if it was just into an accident. And everybody's looking around, and I'm like, that's not normal. The plane just stopped. Now, there was another pilot on board that they were just giving a ride to. Okay. And he was on the plane, and I'll get back to that in a second, but the thing stops, and this is completely not normal. Looking around, everyone's doing this. And as much as I fly, I go, we either hit something or something is wrong with this airplane. Pilot comes on and says, folks, our nose wheel, the wheel under the nose of the airplane, has malfunctioned. It basically broke. It twisted into like a place where it was fucked up. And he goes, we're going to have to shut this. We're going to have to get towed back to the gate. Okay. That never happens. And he didn't get into explanation. He just said that, and we're going back. He tells us how long we're going to be waiting. They shut the plane down. We get towed back. We have to deplane. And now they're taking that plane away. That plane can no longer be in service. I see the pilot that we were taking. He's in a trench coat. And I walk up to him, and we're talking. And I go, oh, they said we got to wait till 1 o'clock. Mind you, I was supposed to take off at 8 o'clock, 8:40 in the morning. Now they're saying not until 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Okay. So I was supposed to be home by 6 o'clock PM. Now I'm not getting home till 10. It's a 5-hour delay. Brutal. I'm exhausted. I had shows all weekend. I say to the pilot, I say to him, yeah, they said 1 o'clock. And he goes, if you say so. You know, he was joking around. And then I go, that was pretty weird, huh? With the wheel, the nose. And he just goes, yeah. He goes, I was actually in the cockpit with them when it happened. And I go, well, what happened? And he goes, yeah. He goes, man, he goes, the wheels were straight, and we were going straight, supposed to be straight. And out of nowhere, they just went boom to the side, like 90-degree angle, and locked. Guys, you realize that we were moving straight, and out of nowhere, it did that. That means, there's another thing giving me the chills. It's horrifying. That means that if we would have made that turn and he would have revved those engines and we were flying down at any time during that fucking thing, those wheels do that. And if you're going 150, 300, whatever the fuck, 200 miles an hour with that fuel, that thing can fucking break off, and we're sliding. God forbid we take off and then coming in for landing. When it lands, it does it. It it was an amazing thing that happened right before we took off. And I am very grateful and thankful that it happened on the ground. It happened while we were taxiing and not while we were either speeding or, take off or landing. Could have also been a thing where, God forbid, when we're about to go up, it does it. And the plane, I mean, I don't even want to think about it, but it was really scary. And I'm glad that it happened the way that it happened, but it fucked me up for a while. So it was an eventful week, but everything worked out. Thank God. And it was crazy. So I don't even know. I know this Virzi effect is probably not funny. I'm sorry, but I just wanted to share that because not all podcasts need to be funny and jokes. When some shit happens to a comedian, I can tell you this. I saw a guy from the 1920s that, there's a possibility I saw a time traveler and the airplane fucked up. I had to just talk about it. So I knew that I would have things to talk about. I hope you enjoyed it. As far as comedy goes, I will be at the Comedy Connection in Providence, Rhode Island, March 31st to April 2nd. Okay. Then I am going to be where am I going to be? I'm going to be in Tampa, Florida. I'm going to be in San Diego. I'm going to be in Buffalo, a bunch of dates. You could go to paulvirzi.com and catch all of my dates. You can get tickets at paulvirzi.com. I know what you guys are thinking. What's going on with the special? Well, I have a really good problem. The truth is, guys, there's kind of a bidding war going on with my special right now. We have three things going on here, and all I can do is be thankful and humbled. And when it all settles down, I'll be able to announce when it comes out. But it's a good problem to have, and that's where I'm at right now, and that's what's going on. But I can tell you this: it's going to be on a major streamer. So don't worry about that. You guys will be seeing it, and there you have it. And please, thank you guys for subscribing to the Virzi Effect YouTube channel. Check out AB, Anything Better with me and Bill Burr. And please come out to shows. Hopefully I'm going to get some more clips out there before the special drops and all those things. But that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. So I don't know what to call this one, I don't know what to call this one, moving fast, time travel, what the fuck was that? I don't know. But thank you guys so much for listening. And until next week, I am out of here. I'll be in Los Angeles, and we'll be doing some studio stuff. So I'll be in studio doing some stuff. I'll be in Los Angeles next week, shooting something, doing a little acting. So I will talk to you guys then. Thank you guys for listening. This has been TVE 530.